At Thanksgiving dinner, my aunt raised a glass and announced, "We sold Grandma's house. You're not in the will anyway." I stared at her, then smiled. That's funny, because Grandma left me a letter with her real plans. As I pulled it from my bag, she went rigid. The family turned to her as I read it out loud. This happened a few years ago, but people still talk about it. Thanksgiving dinner turned into a courtroom showdown, except the judge was a very shocked 9-year-old cousin, and the jury was 27 stunned relatives with stuffing halfway to their mouths. Let me back up. I, 28 female at the time, had just gotten out of a really rough year. I lost my job, had to move into a crappy one-bedroom in Queens, and my dad died of a stroke out of nowhere. On top of that, my grandma, my mom's mom, passed away just 4 months after that. We were close. Like, really close. I'd visit her every Sunday for tea and just sit with her while she told me stories about her childhood in Brooklyn or how she and Grandpa built their life after coming over from Ireland. She was old school. Wore housecoats. Kept her good jewelry in a sock. Hid money in books. That kind of grandma. She didn't have a ton of money, but she did own one thing, a small, 2-story brick house in Park Slope, Brooklyn. It wasn't fancy, but the location made it worth a lot more than anyone expected. It was paid off. The house was her pride. She used to say, "As long as I have this roof, no one in this family should be homeless." Well, that house became the center of the most toxic, petty, and satisfying drama I've ever been a part of. And it all kicked off on Thanksgiving Day. Before I get into what happened, let me set the scene. Aunt Denise, 60s, my mom's older sister. Bossy. Loud. Thinks she's smarter than everyone. Married into money once but blew through it. Uncle Larry, Denise's husband. Mostly quiet. Doesn't say much unless Denise tells him to. Cousin Brielle, Denise's daughter. Influencer vibes. Braggy. Thinks she's a real estate expert because she watched all of Selling Sunset. Me, OP, quiet one. Dad's side is more low-key. I'm the forgotten cousin unless someone needs tech help. The dinner was at Uncle Larry's house in Staten Island. Big house, big table, lots of booze. Everyone was there. I knew it would be tense. It was the first holiday without Grandma or my dad. My mom was still grieving and didn't come. I almost didn't go myself, but I had a gut feeling something was up. And holy hell, I was right. We're all seated. Turkey's out. Everyone's pouring wine, passing plates. Kids are running around. Then Aunt Denise stands up. Clink, clink. She taps her glass with a fork like she's giving a wedding speech. Everyone quiets down. "I just wanted to share something important with the family," she says, smiling like she's announcing a pregnancy or something. "We sold Grandma's house." The room goes dead silent. Like, you could hear the creak of a chair or the slow drop of gravy onto mashed potatoes. My heart starts racing. She keeps going. We figured it was what she would have wanted. No point in keeping an empty house. The market was good. And we already split the money, so don't worry, it's all handled. Then she turns her eyes right at me. "And just to be clear, you weren't in the will anyway." She says it so casually, like she's mentioning the weather. There's a pause. People glance between me and her. I stare at her. I can feel everyone watching. My stomach turns, but I don't flinch. I take a breath. Then I reach into my bag under the table. "That's funny," I say, pulling out an envelope. "Because Grandma left me this." Denise's face drops. This letter. This goddamn letter. I had carried it with me every day since the funeral. Grandma gave it to me in May. We were having tea. She was in one of her thoughtful moods. She said, "If anything happens, don't fight. Don't argue. Just give this to the right people. And don't let Denise touch my house." I didn't understand it then. I thought it was sentimental. But when I read it after she passed, it all clicked. In her own handwriting, on floral stationery she always kept in the hall drawer, to my granddaughter, "If you're reading this, it means I've passed. Do not let them sell the house. I've changed the will. I've left the house to you. Use it. Liven it. Or keep it for your future family. I know Denise will try something. Trust my lawyer. His card is in the safe. Love always, Grandma." I never said a word after the funeral. I wanted to mourn in peace. I knew Denise would be weird, but I didn't expect her to straight up sell the house. And now, here she was, announcing it like she'd done something generous. I read the letter out loud. The entire table was staring at me stunned. A cousin dropped a spoon. Another one whispered, "Holy SHT, asterisk," under their breath. Denise turned white. Uncle Larry asked quietly, "What is that?" "Grandma's real letter. She left the house to me." "And there's a revised will," I said. "I also have a copy of that from her lawyer." I reached into my bag again. A folder this time. Printed pages. Official seals. Grandma wasn't stupid. She did everything by the book. Denise lunged halfway across the table, but Brielle pulled her back. What is this? She snapped. This is fake. You faked this. Grandma never changed the will. No, I said calmly. She did. She did it after she found out what you were planning. So after I read Grandma's letter out loud at Thanksgiving and laid the paperwork right on the table, everything exploded. People were whispering, staring. Denise was frozen. Her hand was still midair from trying to grab the folder, but she stopped herself. Probably because she knew everyone was watching. Her face went pale, then red. Then pale again. Uncle Larry looked like he wanted to disappear into his mashed potatoes. Her daughter Brielle? She was glued to her phone, probably texting her group chat something like, "OMG, my mom is being exposed, RN." I wasn't done. I said calmly, "Grandma didn't trust you, Denise. She warned me. She said you'd try this exact thing." Denise finally spoke. "That letter doesn't mean anything. The house is already sold. You're too late." I didn't respond right away. I let that sit. Then I dropped it. I already talked to Grandma's lawyer. The sale wasn't legal. You weren't the only executor. You forged the paperwork after my dad died. And I've got proof. Boom. My dad, God rest his soul, was co-executor of Grandma's estate. When he passed, that role should have legally been passed to me. But Denise never filed the change. She forged a form making herself the sole executor, signed it with some fake initials, and never told the family. She sold the house within 3 months of Grandma dying. Fast. Quiet. No one else was notified. She claimed it was sitting empty and racking up taxes. That's a lie. The taxes were already paid off for the year. She just wanted the money fast. Want to know how much she sold it for? $1.2 million. In Brooklyn, that's considered under market. The buyer? Some sketchy LLC from New Jersey. I called Grandma's lawyer, Mr. Reardon. Sharp old guy, probably in his 70s. When I told him what Denise had done, he freaked. Said he'd been trying to contact the other executor for months but never got a response. That other executor? My dad, who was dead. Denise never told him. That's fraud. Back at the Thanksgiving table, Denise kept denying everything. She said I was lying. She said the lawyer was confused. She said Grandma was old and probably misremembered. That last part did it. Because everyone in that room knew Grandma was sharp until the very end. She did puzzles every morning. She beat people at Scrabble. She handled her bills better than half the family. So when Denise said that, everyone started to murmur. Cousin Frankie, who never speaks unless it's about football, finally said, "Wait, why would you hide the sale from us? I thought we were splitting the money." Denise froze. She looked at him, opened her mouth, then shut it. She was cornered. Because here's the thing, she didn't split the money. She told some people that they weren't in the will. Told others the house was worth less. Claimed Grandma wanted her to have most of it. She was playing everyone. And now they knew. That night, after dinner ended in chaos and most of the family stormed out, I went home. My hands were shaking the whole drive. I thought that was the worst of it. I was wrong. 2 days later, I got a call from a real estate lawyer representing the buyer of the house. "We're being told there's an ownership dispute," he said. "Can you confirm whether you're filing an injunction to stop the sale transfer?" I nearly dropped the phone. "What transfer?" I asked. Turns out, the sale hadn't fully closed yet. Denise had accepted the offer, signed the contract, and even gotten the deposit. But there was a delay because she hadn't submitted all the proper ownership records. You know why? Because she couldn't. Because she didn't have them. The real will, the one naming me as the beneficiary, was already filed with Mr. Reardon. It was in the system. The city had flagged the ownership documents as incomplete. Denise had tried to file fake forms, but the county clerk paused the process and asked for further verification. She never followed up. She thought no one would notice. She thought I wouldn't know. But now? Now the buyer's lawyer was in on it. I lawyered up that week. My attorney, God bless her, went nuclear. She filed an emergency injunction to block the title transfer. We filed fraud claims. And we subpoenaed Denise's bank records. She tried to delay. Cried in court. Said it was all a misunderstanding. Claimed she was the closest to Grandma. Then my lawyer played the voicemail. Yes, I had one. Saved from a month before Grandma passed. "Hi, sweetheart. Just checking in. I hope you still have the letter. I told Denise not to touch anything, but you know how she is. If anything seems strange, talk to Mr. Reardon. Love you." That voicemail crushed her. I thought the fraud was the end of it. But when we dug into the bank records, we found something else. She had already spent nearly $400,000 of the buyer's deposit money. New car. Cosmetic surgery. Paid off credit cards. Even gave Brielle a business investment, which turned out to be a pyramid scheme. She was hemorrhaging cash like the sale had already gone through. She thought she was untouchable. She was very wrong. So now the family knows. Denise is exposed. The house sale is frozen. The courts are involved. And my lawyer has her squirming in front of a judge. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. Because while Denise was busy spinning lies, I got help from the last person I ever expected. Cousin Brielle. Yes, Brielle. The TikTok-obsessed, influencer wannabe daughter of Denise. The same one who once tried to consult me on personal branding, even though she sells vitamins on Instagram. She texted me 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. Hey, I think we should talk. I didn't know everything. Mom's been lying to me too. At first, I thought it was a trap. But we met up in Manhattan, in a tiny overpriced cafe she insisted on. I ordered black coffee. She got a $14 iced oat milk lavender nonsense. Anyway, she started talking. Turns out, she didn't know the house was left to me. Denise had told her I manipulated Grandma, that I faked the documents, and that I was trying to steal from the family. Then Brielle overheard a phone call between Denise and a second lawyer. A different one. A shady one. Her mom was trying to set up a shell company to hide the deposit money. And not just the deposit, all of it. The full $1.2 million. She wasn't planning to split anything with the family. Not even Brielle. Denise was going to disappear with the money. Here's where it gets crazy. Brielle, clearly furious, dropped this on me over sips of oat milk. There's another will. Not the one you have. A different one. She keeps it in a safety deposit box under Uncle Larry's name. My jaw literally dropped. Brielle explained that a year before Grandma died, Denise tried to get her to sign a new will, one that left everything to Denise and excluded the rest of the family entirely. Including me. Apparently, Grandma signed something after a long doctor's appointment when she was tired and confused. But later, she realized what it was, tore it up, and went straight to her lawyer to fix everything, hence the letter and the real revised will I had. The twist? Denise kept a photocopy of the old fake will anyway, and she was planning to use it to confuse the courts. Except the real one, the one Grandma signed last, was already logged with her lawyer and matched the letter. Still, it gave Denise just enough doubt to stall the process and cloud up the case. Now, I wouldn't have known what to do with that info if not for something else Brielle told me. Apparently, Denise had security cameras inside her own house. And she's the kind of idiot who forgets that cloud storage exists. Brielle logged into the account using the saved password on her mom's laptop and found hours of footage, including one conversation where Denise said this: "If they find out I used his dead signature, I'm screwed." Dead signature. She meant my dad. She used a forged signature, my dead father's name, to push through the sale. And admitted it on camera. We downloaded the footage. Labeled the files. Made copies. My lawyer's hands literally shook when she watched them. With the video and Brielle's testimony, the fraud case got bigger. We added criminal forgery and intent to commit wire fraud because she transferred money between states. The real estate buyer? Furious. They added their own suit. They wanted damages. Suddenly, Denise had 3 lawyers. She started crying in court. Claimed she was having a breakdown. Filed for a delay. Asked for leniency. But the judge had seen the tapes. She asked one question. Did you or did you not use your deceased brother's name and signature to file executor paperwork? Denise broke down and said, I didn't think it would matter. That answer sealed everything. Just when I thought we had everything. My lawyer got a letter in the mail, anonymously sent. No return address. Inside? Bank statements. Old ones. Belonging to my grandma. They were from a joint account Denise had secretly opened in Grandma's name 3 years before she died. Denise had been skimming Grandma's retirement money, little by little. $200 here, $500 there. Over 30 grand in total. The withdrawals were always marked miscellaneous. Sometimes listed as caregiver costs, even though Denise never took care of Grandma once. We handed the statements over to the court. Now we had elder financial abuse stacked on top of the other charges. And that was it. The case shifted completely. She wasn't just a manipulative aunt anymore. She was now officially under investigation for elder abuse, forgery, real estate fraud, and theft. And the best part? She had no idea who sent the bank statements. So we've got fraud, elder abuse, forged signatures, and a $1.2 million house frozen in legal limbo. Aunt Denise's world is crumbling. She's drowning in lawsuits. Her daughter, Brielle, turned against her. The family won't speak to her. The judge has already hinted that jail time is likely. And yet, she still had one ally. Or so she thought. Uncle Larry. Her husband. The quiet one. The guy who nodded along through everything. Turns out, he wasn't as quiet as we thought. A court date was set in January for a key hearing, the one where the judge would likely decide on restitution and start the criminal process. Everyone showed up. Not just the lawyers. The entire family. Cousins. In-laws. Neighbors. Even people I hadn't seen since I was 10. People showed up like it was a free show. Word had spread. Denise's lies were too big to hide now. I sat near the front with my lawyer. Denise was across the aisle, surrounded by her team. She looked different. Not polished. Not powerful. Smaller. Then the judge asked if any party had new information to submit. That's when Uncle Larry stood up. Everyone turned. He wasn't on the docket to speak. But the judge allowed it. He walked to the front of the courtroom. Pulled out a manila envelope. Set it down on the desk like a man laying down a heavy burden. Then he said, loud and clear, I can't lie for her anymore. Gasps. Actual gasps. Denise's face went gray. She tried to stand. Started saying, Larry, what are you doing? But the bailiff told her to sit. He kept going. I didn't know the full truth when she forged the paperwork. I trusted her. But when I saw what she did to the money and what she tried to do to her own niece, I started looking through our records. I found everything. Every withdrawal. Every fake document. I found the bank books she hid. She told me we deserved the money. She said you didn't. But it wasn't her decision to make. It was never hers. He paused. I'm filing for divorce. The room erupted. Some gasped. Some cried. Someone in the back straight up said, Holy sh*T. Denise broke down. In front of everyone. I did it for us, she yelled. You said we needed that money. Larry shook his head. I said we needed to get out of debt. Not commit felonies. She tried to stand. Her lawyer pulled her back down. She cried. Like full body sobs. Not the manipulative kind. Real tears. Broken ones. Because she knew it was over. Not just legally. Everything. Brielle walked out. Didn't say a word. Just got up, grabbed her bag, and walked out the back of the courtroom. No one followed her. After everyone calmed down, the judge made the final ruling. The house was officially restored to me. Denise was ordered to pay back every cent she took from Grandma's accounts. The buyer of the home received full restitution, thanks to title insurance. Denise was charged with multiple counts of forgery, financial fraud, and elder abuse. Sentencing would follow, but jail time was very likely. She didn't look up. Not once. The only time she moved was when they asked if she understood the charges. She just nodded. The family was wrecked. Thanksgiving the next year was quiet. Smaller. At my place, actually, Grandma's house. I cooked for the first time. Burned the green beans. Nobody complained. People still talk about that courtroom moment. About how Uncle Larry broke the whole lie with 5 minutes of truth. Brielle and I talk now. Not often, but enough. She ended up moving to Florida and going to therapy. She told me once, I thought my mom was strong. Turns out, she was just good at making people afraid. I forgave her. Sort of. Still not close. But I don't hate her. Denise went quiet. After the ruling, she disappeared from social media. I heard she's living in a small condo outside of Albany. Alone. I don't think she talks to anyone in the family. Uncle Larry? He joined a local church and started doing volunteer work. He sends me a Christmas card every year now. Always signs it, still sorry. Still grateful. Sometimes I sit in Grandma's old chair, right by the window in the living room. The house still smells like her. Old wood and lavender. She always said, people show you who they are when they think they've already won. She was right. Denise thought she won. But Grandma? Grandma planned better. And trusted the right person. That letter, the one she handed me during tea on a quiet Sunday, it wasn't just a will. It was a warning. And thanks to her, I didn't just save the house, I helped bring the truth out into the light. That's what justice looks like in real life. Messy. Slow. But when it hits, it sticks.